Welcome to the Tax and Money Show with KevinJJohnston. Yes, Canada's biggest mouth and number one tax expert. Tonight is episode 52 of the Tax and Money Show, where we are going to answer all of your questions. Any questions that you have, please feel free to throw each and every one of them into the chat room. We're on Rumble tonight. We are on, Kick, Facebook. Yeah, we're on everything. I don't even know what we're on anymore. And quite frankly, I don't really care because I enjoy myself no matter what platforms we are on. And there's just simply not enough time in the day. Let me just turn my phone off here. It's vibrating. Here we go. I'm getting a whole bunch of happy texts from people. Please don't text me during showtime. Hey, everyone, you all know what day and time I do my show. Don't text me. It's annoying. But thank you. I appreciate the kind words. We're going to be talking about Canadian taxes tonight. Investing in Panama, investing around the world, getting your money away from the Canadian government, and how much the Canadian dollar socks right now, and what to do to protect yourselves. So start right now. Let's go right into your questions. We've got Sweet Guy 62 is asking, are the capital gains 50% or 66% now in Canada? What gives? All right, well, here's what gives, is that there was a suggestion that was made by Trudeau and his government that they would jack the capital gains tax to 66%. Hasn't even passed the second reading yet in Parliament. And what happened? The Canada Revenue Agency said, well, Trudeau said it, so let's just do it. Completely illegal. But, Canadians don't fight. They don't pick up guns and pitchforks and deal with this nonsense. They certainly are not filing criminal charges against any members of the CRA. They're not charging the bank managers. They're not doing anything. And when you sit back and do nothing, guess what happens to you? Everything. Whatever people want to do to you, they'll do until you stop them. So the capital gains, if you go to a regular accountant in Canada who are gutless and useless and will do whatever the CRA says, then your capital gain will probably be 66% on anything. But I got a question for all of you. Why the hell are you telling the Canada Revenue Agency that you have a house that you're selling or renting or leasing or lending or Airbnb? Why are any of you getting on the phone and telling the CRA, I have a house, please tax me? Did they buy it for you? Did they give you the mortgage? Did they help you get the mortgage? Are they helping you pay your property tax? Why do all of you people talk to the CRA? Stop reporting. You have no legal obligation in Canada to discuss with any branch of government, including and especially the Canada Revenue Agency, anything about any capital gains that you would have. And let's talk about what some capital gains would be. So a capital gain, you buy a house, you sell a house for a profit. You're going to get taxed on the profit margin. Now the CRA wants 66% of that profit. Why would you tell them that? Why would you say, hi, CRA, I just sold my house. You buy 5 houses and you make $1 million profit on each of those. Why would you tell the CRA that you've bought 5 houses, you're making $1 million each, you're going to get $5 million of profit from the sale? Please take 66% of that. What the hell did you buy the house for? Buy crypto instead. If you're going to be that stupid, then buy crypto instead. Oh, one more thing. Crypto. All right. So in 2021, I bought Bitcoin. It was $21,000. Now it's 140 Canadian. Would you like me to phone the CRA and say, hey, guys, you're not going to believe this. In the really volatile crypto market, I want to tell you that I'm making money on Bitcoin, and I would love it if you taxed me. Does that make sense? I mean, that's what you do when you tell the CRA that you have crypto. Let's talk about this for a quick second. When I'm doing taxes for people, I'm always looking for ways to get rid of those capital gains. I do not want anybody at all reporting capital gains. So let's just say a client of mine, out of fear makes a phone call to the CRA, and this stupidity happens all the time. And it's usually, oh, I'm so sorry, please don't put me in jail. They can't put you in jail. So knock that nonsense off. Thank you for the hat, by the way. Knock it off. But you've now snitched on yourself and said that you've got a capital gain. It doesn't matter if it's a house or crypto or gold or silver or jewelry, gems. It could be crypto. It could be any of the, oh, sorry, I said crypto. It could be cars. You know what? You could buy a 1969 Chevy Chevelle and turn around and sell it and make $100K profit. Technically, that's a capital gain. But why would you tell them? So to get rid of capital gains, here's what I do. I will go into crypto, and if you've ever had a crypto loss, I will just say, here you go. There's your capital loss. I'll use that capital loss to write off against your capital gain. But, it's just better not to report in the first place, because every single thing that you put on a tax return in Canada is 100% voluntary. The only obligation is to send the tax return in. In Canada, name, social insurance number at the top, signature bottom, mail it in. No numbers, mail it in. Obligation complete. The word mandatory only shows up once in the entire tax act in Canada. So you are mandatorily required, which is a request I might add, mandatorily required to do a tax return. Doesn't say there have to be numbers on it. Clause 1 of the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights says that you do not owe any more or any less tax than is required by law. There's not one law in Canada that says you have to pay tax. Not one. Go to ChatGPT or DeepSeek.ai. Ask them. Give me one law that has a number on it that says I must pay tax. I do this every day. ChatGPT always comes up blank. It always points out I must do a tax return, but it does not tell me that I must put numbers on it. Now, remember, I've been studying tax law since I was 13. I'm 53 now. That's 40 years of studying this garbage. So I can tell you that you need not worry. Now, good question here. The wealthy peasant says, when they call to ask questions, what should I say? Go F yourself. You have the right to remain silent. Dude, for real, who are you? Why are you asking me questions? Get lost. Don't call me back. I always ask this question, especially when I have ladies as clients. They come in. They'll answer all kinds of questions about their credit cards and their bank accounts and their taxes and their earnings and their capital gains and their crypto and their jewelry. They answer all of these questions. But then I use this example. What if I called you? Hey, my name's Kevin. I'm from the Canadian National Underwear Institute, and we need to know what kind of underwear you're currently wearing. Thong, full back, G-string. Let me know. What would you tell me? And all of them say, I would tell you to go F yourself. Well, that's the right answer. Whenever people are asking you intimate questions about you and your life, that's the answer. Now, who cares about your underwear? You should be caring about your money. You do not answer questions. Even the cops tell you when you're under arrest, you've got the right to remain silent. Whenever they want to question you, you ask the cop, do I have to answer these questions? They'll tell you, no, you don't. The ones that say, yes, you do, they're lying to you. Call them a liar and call 911 and get a supervisor to show up. You got to remember, the Canada Revenue Agency and police and bylaw officers in Canada, they're just losers who are looking for a six-figure salary, because that's all the Canadian government pays, are six-figure salaries to losers who are bereft of imagination and will never run a company. If you took every single member of the Canada Revenue Agency and just about every cop in Canada and fired them all and said, go be entrepreneurs, maybe 3 or 4 of them might succeed. And when I say 3 or 4, I don't mean 1,000. I mean 3 or 4. These are not intelligent people. The reason I had to leave Canada is because the government was constantly giving me a difficult time, because I know how government works and I teach all of you how to beat them. And the worst part about that is I got to deal with cops all the time coming to my door. Hey, you shouldn't tweet that mean thing because we don't know why. We were sent here to tell you that. These are exceptionally unintelligent people. I'm sure that we can all agree here that my specialty is general intelligence. I have quite a bit of it. And I don't enjoy having to spend my time with any government staff who have exceptionally low IQs, because they honestly believe they've got authority and power and the right to behave like maniacs. And you cannot convince stupid people that they're stupid. So please, wealthy peasant, don't talk to the CRA. Hire me, because not only when you hire me am I your tax guy, I'm also your legal agent, and we are in a client-solicitor privilege relationship. I can never testify against you. And they have to call me and not you. And when they call me asking questions about my clients, I'll tell them, listen, I don't really feel like having this conversation right now. Thank you for the opportunity, but any requests that you make must be sent to me in writing. I will ignore those, but if you really want something from me, go get a court order. File a motion in the court and present your motion to a judge wearing that stupid black dress and that red sash. Do it during court hours, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday to Friday, and actually have a court order, which when I receive from you, I will ignore and appeal. Go get it. And they don't. The CRA doesn't do that. Charger says, we spoke in your messages. If your father passed away last year, I absolutely can redo your father's taxes. When family members pass away, we can leave the estate open long enough to go back 10 to 15 years on their taxes. So don't close the estate, and don't let your estate go into probate. Call me. We'll take care of it. Rockster, if you're planning to move to Panama at any point in life, or Mexico, or Florida, or Russia, or Antarctica, you don't tell anyone. You don't have to make official announcements about what you're doing. Yeah. Calling the CRA to tell them that you're moving to Panama is the same thing as calling the CRA to tell them that you're going to use the John. It's pointless information, but it hurts you. The information hurts you because they'll start to change your status. Just leave. Don't tell anybody anything. There's no point. I'm not making any formal declarations of what I am and where I am and who I am and so on. All of you know that I'm in Panama and I'm having a great time here. In fact, this has been the best year and a half of my life. I love Panama, but I'm not calling the CRA to say, I live in Panama now and nothing. Yeah. Why? No, I call the CRA to give them a difficult time on behalf of my clients. Don't make official announcements. It's nobody's business where you are. Not the CRA, not the border guards, not Trudeau, not anybody. All right. Wonder Toll says, when the money hits your bank account, the bank reports to the government over 10K. It's actually in Canada over 5 now. All of the federal banks are cooperating with FinTrack. They're a bunch of losers too. They really are. There's 550 people working for FinTrack currently. And FinTrack was supposed to watch out for money laundering and stop terrorists from laundering money in Canada, but they don't do that. They actually get bribed by the terrorists bringing money into Canada. They leave the banks alone who are laundering all this money through the banking system, and they're picking on we, the small guy. And they're cowards just like the CRA. They're useless individuals just like the CRA. FinTrack can rot in hell. Now, in FinTrack, they've made a couple of phone calls to me in the past. Now, and I just kept asking them questions. Every time they would ask me a question, I'd say, yeah, give me a second, I'll answer that. But tell me this. Oh, yeah, one more second. Gentlemen, I'm going to answer all your questions in a minute, but answer this for me. And then they would say, well, are you going to answer our questions now? No, I lied to you. Bye-bye. You don't have to cooperate with these idiots at all. John says, you lost your job. You need my help. With taxes, I'm in. You know, I can't get you a job, but I can help you with your taxes. Absolutely. When someone withdraws crypto from a centralized exchange, that exchange sends a report to the CRA, not to the CRA, to FinTrack, not to CRA. But who cares? Who cares? What's CRA going to do? Put you in jail? Send a SWAT team out to come and get you? Hire a hitman? CRA is not going to do anything. If I'm your tax guy, CRA is not doing jack. All right. Do I do personal taxes, Tom? Absolutely, we do. Typically, for all of our clients, we're going back 10 years now. It's incredible how many write-offs a lot of you just don't know that you are legally allowed to put in there. Medical, any kind of therapy, dentistry, all of it. It all goes in. And you want to talk about awesome write-offs? I covered this in a couple shows ago, but we have a client. She's an OnlyFans model. I'm not telling you who because client confidentiality, but she got breast enlargements done. She asked my opinion on them. I don't offer opinions like that to clients, but the opinion and the act that I did carry through with was that we wrote the breast implants off the whole job as marketing. It's marketing. Getting that done will make her more money. So that's marketing. You can do anything. If you get your teeth whitened as a public figure, that's marketing. Yeah. If you get your eyebrows plucked as a public figure or an influencer online, that's marketing. It's not grooming, it's marketing. Like this amazing $5 haircut that you're looking at right now is marketing. I mean, $5 I wouldn't write off, but you get what I'm saying. It's all marketing. There's a lot of things we can do. A lot of things me and my team can do. Accountants are cowards. I can't imagine a single accountant anywhere in Canada putting breast implants down as a marketing expense for an OnlyFans model. I don't judge what she does. I just want to make sure that as a client of mine, she gets the maximum dollar value back. And there's a lot of accountants out there that judge people. That ain't my job. My job is not to judge your tattoos, your haircut, your body odor. I don't care about any of that. My job is to get your tax dollars back, is to protect you. So marketing, all kinds of write-offs. If you have therapy of any kind, you can write that off too. Let's say this is how silly the rules are. Let's just say you don't feel like going to see a therapist or a psychologist or whatever else. Your therapy is the bartender. So you head over to your favorite bar and you chat with Rocco, the bartender, and the bartender gives you some suggestions to improve life. Or at least he's just someone who's listening. Every alcoholic beverage that you buy is medical. Yeah, it's true. You can do it, and the CRA can't stop you. What do I think about creating a trust and transferring everything into it? Excellent. It's a great idea, but you don't need to. They're expensive. You don't need to. We do everything through numbered corporations. We declare them holding companies, and I write excessively amazing bylaws stating what the numbered corporation is. Trusts are awesome, but you're dropping 20, 30K to get them set up. Not necessary. Anybody who wants to protect their assets, come to me. We get you a numbered corporation. I train you in everything you need to know about how corporations function. And then we go ahead and declare it as a holding company, and the CRA can't touch it. There we are. I'm a Canadian citizen and a foreign resident in a tax-neutral jurisdiction with offshore trusts. Good. Just be silent about that. CRA is never going to know. They're stupid. They are really stupid people. So don't think that they're investigating you. They only know what you tell them on the tax return. So about that trust. So how can they sell your home if you don't pay your taxes or water? Okay. Property tax and water bills and things like that, that's municipal. The Municipal Act is a weird one. Municipal acts all across Canada are very strange. Property tax in Canada is the only one that I tell you to pay because I haven't figured out how to get around it yet, but I'm a clever guy. I will eventually figure that out. Pay your property tax, but the water bill and the electrical bill, they can't take your house for that. That's BS. Whoever told you that lied to you. The property tax, the province of New Brunswick will actually seize your property and auction it off. You got to be careful with New Brunswick. It's a sinister, awful place. And I've been giving the government there a very difficult time. And they don't like it. They get very angry with me. So pay your property tax. Everything else, you don't have to pay. There's no other tax in Canada that you have to pay except that one. Don't try to reap any government benefits when you don't subscribe to their programs. I would actually go ahead, Rolly, and say, if there's a government program you can get your hands on, go get it. All the third world junk that comes into Canada, they all get it. So why should the taxpayers in Canada not get it? Go get it. If you can get welfare, get it. If you can get a child tax credit, get it. If you can get a dental credit, get it. If you can get a grant for a business that you never open up, get it. Because the foreigners are getting it and they don't deserve it. Canadians deserve it. So go get it. All right, keep watching here. We got the wealthy peasant says, never been so depressed living in Canada, planning on leaving. Yeah, that's all Canada is. It's a depressing dump, an absolute dump. What I would actually like all of you to do when you get an opportunity is to look at my skin and my face and just my health in general today and compare how I looked in October of 2023, which was the month before I left Canada. And you'll see that I looked awful back then. I looked ill. It was terrible. I actually looked 2 years younger than I did 2 years ago because I left Canada. I'm away from the left-wing nonsense. There's no pride flags here. There's no 500-pound lesbian cops giving people a difficult time. There's no people on Xanax wearing police uniforms, shooting people because their drugs are screwing them up. There's none of that crap here. None of liberalism is not here. So try Panama, man. You'll love it. Oh, and it's cheap too. It's really cheap. My grocery bill, $30 a week. Is cheap. There's a restaurant. I go to this place all the time. I get my hands on 2 pieces of chicken, and they take plantain bananas and they slice them that thick and then flatten them down. They throw them in coconut oil for a few minutes, and they come out tasting like French fries. And that's $3. It's fantastic. The food here is awesome. Wealthy peasant says, I have an appointment with you, but it's in late April. Yeah, you know what, guys? I am getting booked up. I'm actually booking into May now. But if there's an urgency, so wealthy peasant, if you've been threatened with something, get a hold of Christine. She's my number one gal there. She'll get you booked in earlier. It's a matter of we deal with the threats first. So if you've been threatened, let us know. Can you look in your inbox? I need help. Okay, so Handsome Joe, yes, I can. In your inbox, just put Handsome Joe in the subject line. Send the same email again, please, but not here. Nobody use social media to contact me. I forgot to mention that. I just don't have time to go through any of the messages or even look at comments anymore on social media. It's got to be done through my website. So anybody that knows my website address, stick it in the chat right now. It's my name, KevinJJohnston.com. Hit the contact button and contact me through the website, please. The inbox on TikTok, I just don't have time for. I greatly appreciate that. Floater Joe says, I sent you an email of a letter from the CRA for your company. Good. Okay. I saw Floater in my email box. I'm going to be reviewing that one tomorrow. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. How does anybody get a hold of me? My own website, KevinJJohnston.com. That's KevinJJohnston, JOHNSTON.com. All righty. I'm just having a look at the Rumble room right now. Hold on there. And for those who are wondering, this show is every Tuesday. It's live. Like right now, I am live. It's every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Even when I switch to the Central Time Zone for the spring, summertime, it's still going to be done Eastern time. Everything that I schedule is Eastern time. All right. So someone's asking me here, hey, Kevin, I've got a $650,000 court-ordered penalty for something. Join the club. I've got $6.6 million in court-ordered payments against me. And I have paid that many pennies. I've paid that. So get a hold of me on that one on the website if you don't mind. Because court stuff in Canada, I love. I've humiliated the Canadian court system time and time again. I despise the Canadian court system. It's run by pedophiles and losers. I can't stand anybody that works in it. There's not one decent person, not one human being in any branch of any court anywhere in Canada. I would love to help you ditch that $650K penalty. Okay, I'm just There we go. I'm just approving some filtered comments here. So Handsome Joe says, you want to do mine? They froze your bank account. Okay, bank accounts. Yes, when bank accounts get frozen, I can unlock them. Here's how. The Canada Revenue Agency, they don't get court orders because they can't win. So they send out requirement to pay letters to your bank. And that is not a lawful order. It's just a loser writing a request letter. But the banks in Canada, they're all into money laundering. And the banks, I guess, mistakenly believe that if they don't steal from your account to give to the CRA, that the CRA will investigate them and find all the drug dealers and pedophiles running money through their banks. Every bank in Canada is corrupt as hell. They just don't want to be scrutinized and have it made public like Toronto Dominion Bank did in the United States. I don't think they're going to be able to do business in the USA coming soon. So the bank account will be frozen or they'll take your money out of it. The fastest way to get it done, I redo your taxes going back 10 years and resubmit those taxes. When I do your taxes, they're going to get done right. You're not going to have a tax bill anymore, and they have no choice but to give you back your money and unlock your bank account. That's the fastest way to get bank accounts unlocked in Canada. All right, yeah, source deductions in Canada. So if you run a corporation, you have to take federal tax off, provincial tax, Canada pension plan, and employment insurance. You got to take all those off. So in Ontario, if someone makes $100K a year, then the full total deduction is about $26,500 for the entire year. If you don't pay the CRA that, they'll chase you forever for it. Fastest way out of that problem? Sell your company to me. Sell it to me. I'll buy your company from you, and the CRA can chase me for your payroll debt. Now, we open up a payroll company this year. True story. If you don't want to be dealing with payroll nonsense, you have us do your payroll. And in Canada, if you're taking off Canada pension plan and employment insurance from your staff, you have to match Canada pension plan 100%. So you got to pay an extra $5,000 and you got to match the employment insurance 140%. So it's about $5,800 for Ontario residents that the corporation pays. If you've got 100 employees, that's $580,000 you just burn. I do your payroll. We don't take the CPP and the EI from you. You keep it. It's yours. Put it in your pocket. True story. How do I make my money? Ancient Chinese secret. I am not telling you. I take that money and I invest it the right way. And that's all I'm going to tell you because, well, I've invented this entire system and I'm not giving it away for free. I'll tell you for $100 million. There you go. Because that's the number I need to retire and disappear forever. There we are. But yeah, let me do your payroll and all those problems go away. All right. Robin says, I asked my company if I could pay my own tax. The answer from one is no, they can't do that. Yeah, because they're losers. That's why. Because they're losers. But Robin, if you want me to wipe out your entire tax debt, even if you're on a T4 or a T4A, get a hold of me. I can bring your taxes to zero. It's nonsense. I hate employers that say, no, we can't do that because we don't want the CRA to audit us. What a bunch of losers. You know, the problem is it's mostly men saying this. What the hell happened to men in Canada? You guys suck. Men in Canada are so weak. They're crybabies. They're children. I don't want to name the CRA. That's what you sound like when you talk that way. Have some balls, man. For the love of God. So what if you get audited? You tell the auditor to go F himself. Get lost. We're not doing this. If you don't want to do it, hire me. I'll call the auditor. And here's how the conversation typically goes, because I start off polite until it's time not to be polite. Hey, Kevin J. Johnston here. I represent John Smith and John Smith Incorporated. I understand you'd like to audit the company. Thank you very much for that kind offer. We will be declining at this time. I would also like to get from you a list of what you're looking for, and we will conduct the audit for you. We require 120 days to run this audit. By the way, I have to issue a no trespassing notice to you, which I do in writing. You are not to ever call my client again. You are banned from their home, office, church, gym, hockey arena, anywhere they're going to be. And if you show up, you're going to be arrested. It's that simple. Done. Oh, by the way, I don't do the audit for them. Are you kidding me? They're not paying me for that. So I lie to the CRA. I lie all the time. It doesn't matter if you lie. They lie. They're all liars. The Canada Revenue Agency is full of a bunch of criminals lying on behalf of Justin Trudeau and his band of merry pedophiles out there, taking our money and spending it on people that hurt the innocent and spending it on wars that have nothing to do with us. So yeah, if I'm your tax guy, I lie to the CRA. I tell them whatever they want to hear so that they'll just fungu and leave you alone. That's my job, is to protect you from them. We need your help with my company. Big time. It's a trucking business. I love doing payroll for trucking companies. You get a hold of me. Dude, let's do some business. Charger, would I speak with you directly or someone associated with you? Whenever you book an appointment, a consultation, you get me. My assistants are going to set up the meeting. They'll ask you a couple of preliminary questions, but you get to talk to me. It's me directly. I'm only charging $150 right now for consultations. Now, that is going up on June 1st because, as I've said earlier in this show, I'm already booked until almost the end of April. We're taking bookings in May now. So it will go up. The $150 gets you in front of me so that we can swap stories here and figure out the best way to go at things. Accountants, yeah, accountants are losers, people. They truly are. So if the CRA finds out you have crypto income from an exchange after you report it, yeah, so the only way they find out is if you tell them. Stop talking to the CRA. Stop putting stuff on your tax return. You don't have to share your intimate details of your life or your finances with anybody. You're not obligated to talk to anyone. Canadians, just like Americans do, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you to steal your money. So stop talking to these people. Hey, look, CRA. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Royal Canadian Mounted Police are watching this show right now. The RCMP transcribes every show. And you're all losers, by the way. If you wear that costume, you're losers. I despise you in every way. But keep watching my show. Maybe you losers are going to learn something. I'm telling you that I deal in everything. I deal in cash. I deal in gold, silver, gems. I deal in crypto, property, debentures, stocks, and bonds. And I'm now dealing in this amazing new thing, which is owning property through the blockchain. I do all of this stuff, and it's legal. It's legal. All of it's legal. And I'm not telling the CRA what profits that I have because it's none of their business. If the CRA would like to know what I'm up to, they can get a court order, which they won't. And when they do get a court order, I'm going to ignore it and appeal it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So you can take any order from any Canadian court and shove it, because I despise the Canadian court system. I no longer recognize their authority as anything. I recognize them as a farce. I recognize the Canadian court system and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as protectorates of pedophiles in the government, and they can rot in hell for it. I couldn't care less about any of them. I am going to ignore every court order issued against me, just like I have ignored the $6.6 million of judgments that judges across Canada said I had to pay. I haven't paid a penny. I even told the judges in advance, doesn't matter how this goes, I'm not paying. Why are we wasting taxpayers' dollars on this stupid trial? Now, CRA is after you and you got to get rid of some of your assets? No, you don't. I just redo your taxes. Keep your assets, man. You earned them, not them. Let me redo your taxes. What about Canada Pension Plan and EI self-employment? Do you have to pay these? Not if I'm your tax guy. Nope. So if you go to any other accountant, yep. Not me, though. Remember, I've been studying this nonsense for 40 years. I also studied criminal law and I studied civic law in Canada for 20. I passed the bar and I told the Law Society of Upper Canada, I don't want your piece of paper. Although it was very vulgar and crass what I actually said. I don't want anything to do with them. Source deductions are serious if you fear them. And source deductions I can eliminate. I'll buy your company and take them all away from you. I paid my tax with my business so I could write off. Okay, I think what you're trying to ask me there is, can you write everything off? Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can write off your house. If you work from home, foyer, one bathroom, kitchen, whatever room you have is your office. And as soon as you have a client in the backyard, you can write that off too. If you bring a client to your bedroom, which is weird, you can write the bedroom off. These are all the things you can do. And how are they going to know? How is the CRA going to know that you didn't have a client in your living room or in your bedroom or your upstairs bathroom or your garage? You know how many times I've seen a couple of grown men go in someone's garage, light up a couple of spliffs and smoke weed for 3 hours, negotiating a business deal? Yeah, you can write the weed off. You can write the Bic lighter off for it. You can write off the bong. And you can write off the space in the garage, like the room that you used. You could also write off the fuel to get there for the meeting. All right, there you go. Husband has done his taxes 7 years ago through a scam company called Damara. Still dealing with CRA. Annette, you get a hold of me, and that BS is done. I'm very familiar with tax shelters that have gone wrong. They're really easy to fix if you know what you're doing, which I do. Get a hold of me, please. Can I have less taxes taken off my paycheck? No, don't bother with that. No, let me do your taxes the next year, and we're going to find out every expense you have. Medical, legal, travel, marketing. Did you know that, let's say you've got a full-time job. Here's a scenario for you. You got a full-time job, but you're printing out resumes. Yeah, check this out. You can have a friend of yours print your resume out, and he can write a bogus invoice for $5,000 for resume service. That's marketing, man. You know why? Because you're marketing yourself. It doesn't matter what a resume is worth. It's worth whatever the guy says it's worth, and it's worth whatever you feel you want to pay for it. I'm not saying pay them. I'm just saying you can get invoices for that. Every resume you print, every fax you send, all that stuff, you write everything off. All of it. All of it. Are there jobs in Panama? No, you don't come here to get a job. What you do is you come down here and start a business immediately. This is the best place going. I love the fact that Panama's it's like a tax haven for gringos and foreigners. It truly is. So you come down here, open up a corporation, work remotely, make money all over the world, bring it to Panama, no tax. Even if you report 100% of what you make, no tax. And you don't even have to be a resident or a citizen for that. You should become a resident because the benefits are awesome in Panama. But there we go. Puerto Rico, I've never been, but it's a protectorate of the United States, so you'll be paying American tax. I don't want to pay American tax. That's why I'm not in Panama. You come to Panama to get a business going, kind of reinvent yourself, get away from the rat race. Even though Panama City, half the country's population lives in Panama City, and it's a loud city because people are partying. It's not obnoxious loudness. It's people celebrating life on a daily basis. I'm completely and totally at peace here. No matter where I go, even in the deepest, darkest slums of Panama City, nobody bothers me. I get invited to sit down, have a party. They see some gringo walking past. They invite the guy, come in, join us, have a beer. I hate beer, but I'm always happy to meet people and hear everybody's story. I'm at peace here completely. I came here to get away from the nonsense, got my mental health right back, like in days. And now I serve the international market. I do taxes for Canadians and a little bit for Americans. And for all my fans in Australia, I haven't studied Australian tax law yet. I can't help you yet. I don't know enough about the ATO to do it. So stick with me. Maybe next year I'll start studying that, because Commonwealth countries are in big trouble tax-wise. And I'd like to help as many people as I can. Been in Panama 10 and a half months now. And I've got my pensionado residency. Yeah, pensioner, me. Awesome. I got a discount card. I pop it out, show it, 25% off at every restaurant. Now, I don't show it when I'm going to restaurants where the meal is less than $10. I'm not going to do that. But if I go to the expensive ones, like, for example, Trump Tower downtown, if I go there, one alcoholic beverage, and I'm not a big alcohol guy, but one alcoholic drink is about $25. I mean, I could hang around my neighborhood and have alcoholic beverages for $3. But I would definitely flash that 25% discount card down there and not in my neighborhood. I'm just saying it's awesome. It's freaking awesome. Capital gains, I covered that earlier in the show. If I'm your tax guy, you'll never pay them again. Why am I living in Panama? The place is awesome. The weather's great. The women are beautiful. The people are nice and friendly and kind. If you want to have a meeting with the mayor of Panama City, you can have one. Yeah, the water's great. The air's great. There's no chemtrail nonsense going on. There's no pride flags here. The cops are not left-wing liberal maniacs. There's none of that crap here to deal with. It's wonderful. Okay. What about the CRA takes your AR list and gets customers? Oh, okay. So, everybody, stop telling the CRA who you do business with. Here's something that happens. The CRA will make a phone call to a company saying, hey, we got a survey. We call this a desk audit. We got a survey. There's 60 questions. They always say this: we need you to fill this out. Well, I always tell the CRA, I need you to come on over here and use your tongue as toilet paper because I ran out. I need you to fill this out. What does that mean? Like security guards. I need you to stand over here. Get bent. So when you answer questions, you're typically telling the CRA who your suppliers are and who your customers are. That's bad, because if they want money from you, they'll go to your customers. Now, what you need to do is immediately figure out who the representative was for the CRA and sue the CRA for defamation and damages. But Canadians don't do that. If a million Canadians sued the CRA for defamation, they'd stop. But Canadians don't ever come together as a unified force, which is really unfortunate. Now, as a result of you doing nothing, the CRA does these crazy things to you. Sue the bastards. Sue the CRA for defamation of character. Just because they say you owe tax doesn't mean you owe tax. The only time that they could ever tell you you owe tax is if they take you to court and win and get a judge's order, and that you refuse to appeal that order. Then, and only then, can they say it. But the CRA does not take anybody to court because they don't want to lose. Every time you lose in court, you set a precedent of being a loser, and then everybody else catches on to how they lost. They read the case law and figure, oh, okay, here's all the arguments. We'll make the same ones and we'll win too. That's why the CRA doesn't sue anybody. Stop telling them things. Please keep your secrets secret. Oh, yes. And thank you, McDeath, for appreciating my honesty. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 53. That means I'm closer to 60 than 40. Right? For anybody out there to think about or would want me to consider giving a rat's ass about how someone feels about what I'm saying, you truly are barking up the wrong tree. You know, the only time I care about feelings, and this is me telling you the truth, is when I'm dealing with toddlers or young kids. You know, a 7-year-old draws a picture. They say it's a horse. It looks like a blob, but they say it's a horse. Yeah, I'll spare their feelings saying, hey, that's an awesome horse. Good job. High five. But once you're 13 and up. Welcome to real life. I don't give a crap about your feelings. If you don't like what I'm saying, swipe right, swipe up, swipe down. Use your mouse if you're on Rumble and just close the browser window. Doesn't make a difference to me. I started becoming brutally honest actually at age 24 when people would waste my time with really bizarre anecdotal stories that went nowhere, talking about people I didn't know. So one day something clicked in my mind and I just said to my aunt, hey, Auntie, I'm not going to tell you which one. That story sucks. That's a really boring story. Let me tell you what happened to me today. And I just made up a bunch of lies. But at least my story was funny. And after I got that reaction, like, oh, really? Did he just say that? Oh, once I got that reaction, people stopped telling me these stupid stories. It was actually quite wonderful. I'm thinking, I'm going to be brutally honest with everybody, period. Didn't always work. Having girlfriends, for example, where they got a piece of clothing on they really like, and they say, what do you think? I'll tell them, looks like complete crap. It looks like you went to a secondhand store and found what was in the fire sale rack. Literally had been burnt. It's junk. But I am nice. I do say, however, that blue dress you got with the frills? You look great in that. Put that on. But they would never hear that part of it. They would only hear that your outfit sucks. Win some, you lose some, right? Yeah. All righty. Stacy says, what if your employees are not on board of the payroll? Too bad. You're the boss. What you say goes. I mean, I run a very successful tax and investment company. What I say goes. I'm not mean about it. I don't come walking in the room saying, hey, you do what you're told. But when I say that here's the policy, here's the policy. That's it. It's not up for debate. Do it. It'd be the same thing if I was still married, which I'm not, but the next relationship I get into, if I do get into one, is going to be, I'm in charge. I'm in charge because it's my rules. I'm not going to bark commands blindly, but I will say, I've made my mind up. This is the decision. Carry out my instructions, please. Otherwise we can't be together. If my staff are not going to do what I'm asking them to do and I'm paying them, we can't be together. Go, leave. I'll find someone else to replace you. Stacy. Nice sucks. People who are nice don't make money. I'm not a fan of Bill Cosby. Truthfully, after Fat Albert was over, I really wasn't a fan of him. But he did say one very clever thing. He said, I don't know what the key to success is, but I do know that the key to failure is trying to please everybody. He's right. Who cares about nice? You're in this business, Stacy, to make money. If your staff don't like it, well, they can go. Now, I know you're saying it's really tough to find good people. Yeah, I agree with that. But nobody is going to dictate the terms of my business to me. And if somebody were to come into my personal life, they are not dictating the terms of how I live to me. And it's also the same thing. You get into my car and I'm driving and you're doing that with your feet, pretending to hit the brakes because you don't like how I drive. And you're asking me to slow my car down, pull over, get out of my car. That's it. I'm not listening to that nonsense when I'm focused on driving. I've been in one accident my entire life. One. And I don't drive like a maniac, but I enjoy driving. I'm going to drive as someone who enjoys it. You're not dictating the terms of how I drive my car or a rental car that I pay for. Stacy, don't let them say a damn thing. Here's how it is. Thank you. And then just do it. That's all we do, folks. It is all that we do. Chad, listen, I've been fighting the CRA. They charged me over $42,000 for collecting CERB. Okay, Chad, here's what we do. For $950, I send in 5 legal letters. I'm going to force them to issue disclosure to you and to me that there was ever a debt in the first place. So the big thing here with that CERB, and for our American friends watching, what that means is the Canada Emergency Response Benefit during the fake COVID nonsense. they gave away $2,000 a month to a lot of Canadians and to foreigners who didn't deserve it. So the CERB that they're wanting back now, I get rid of it. The letter goes in. I give them 30 days to prove debt. They never give me evidence, ever. So then we go to the next part of it is, here's your structured settlement letter. You're going to either pay me $20,000 and wipe out the debt, or we're going to court. Now, what they'll tell you is, well, you can only take us to tax court. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. You can take them to any provincial superior court in Canada because superior courts have jurisdiction over the CRA. So we sue them. And you'll find that when you sue them for about 3 times what they're asking for CERB, that CERB that tends to disappear pretty fast. All right, here we go. Do you know a good bookkeeper? Us. We're the best in the business. Next. Okay. So user 849 says that he wants to write off everything. Yeah, why not? And who's to say that you've got to write things off at the exact retail price? Here, check this out. Right? This is how stupid the whole system is. This mouse, $9.95. It's a Logitech. It's cute, right? I got tired of big gaming mice that have like 50 buttons on them. This one's got 4. So this is $9.95. Now in business, I can buy something and then either sell it to you or trade it with you for a higher price. So let's say you have a friend of yours. He goes out and buys you a mouse for $9.95, and he's got a corporation. He can cut you an invoice for one mouse for $10,000. I mean, who's to say it's not worth $10,000? Who's to say that William Shatner didn't own this before? So you get the invoice for 10 grand. I'm going to write that off for you. Why wouldn't I? You're telling me it's worth $10,000. What am I going to do? Call you a liar? No, we write it off. We write everything off. Marcia says, "Can I do a Reiki reading business?" Oh, hey, Marcia, there's a lot of alternative medicine down here. A lot. There's a lot of massage therapy here. A lot of them are not very good. I'm hoping to get some better people down here because, whenever I hurt myself, it's usually a pretty good hurt job I do. I never do anything halfway. Reiki is here, but they don't market themselves. Let me tell you something about Panamanians, all right? Lovely people. The infrastructure here is incredible. The subway system here is better than Toronto, and it's only 35 cents a ride, right? The busing system here is better than anywhere in Canada, and it's 25 cents a ride, all right? So they've got all this stuff, but you didn't know that until I told you. Panama doesn't advertise around the world saying, hey, guys, ride our ultra-modern, fully air-conditioned trains that are cleaner than any train in the world for 35 cents. They don't say this. What they should be saying is, hey, Canadians, come on down, ride our 35-cent train to the mall and watch a $6 movie in IMAX. Oh, and you'll love this one. You can come to our movie theaters down here after riding the 35-cent train and buy a $4 popcorn with fresh caramel on it. Did you know that they actually pop caramel corn directly from the popper at the movie theaters here? Hey, it's so good. What I'm getting at here is you don't know that until I tell you. Marketing. If you came down here and opened up a Reiki business or a reading business or massage therapy or anything to do with alternative medicine at all, and you advertised the hell out of it, oh, you do well. There's about 500,000 white people and Canadians who are not white, who are born in Canada, and Americans who are not white, who are born in America, all of us of whom share a similar culture. We're all down here getting along very well, I might add. In Panama, you got 500,000 people you could sell to who all speak English. Why do you think I'm trying to bring the NHL here? The NHL would kick ass here in Panama. If we put a team in Panama City, the gringos would fill the place. Check it out. All right. David. There's a city called David. It's a 5-hour drive west of Panama City, but it's a, 45, 50-minute flight. You can fly from David to Panama City for about $90. So you buy yourself an NHL ticket here in Panama City, fly in for the game, and fly home. Cheaper than one ticket downtown Toronto for the laughs, the loafs for those guys. It would absolutely make a ton of money down here. And I will be marketing the hell out of it when it comes time to getting the investment groups down here to have a look at the land I've already picked out for the arena. So there's money to be made, but you just got to advertise. You got to advertise well. Let me just go ahead and check the Rumble room here, folks. All right. Yeah, so anybody who's watching on Rumble, just head over to my website. You can see it on Rumble, the bottom left corner of the screen, KevinJJohnston.com. Book yourself a consultation. Let's talk. Let's do some business. Let's fix your taxes. Is there any demand down here for digital marketing? Oh, hell yes. Absolutely there is. I just did. Like Panama doesn't market itself. Costa Rica does all the marketing. Costa Rica sucks. It sucks. It's a third world country with first world pricing. Everything in Costa Rica is 5 times the price of Panama. So come down here and market what you do in Panama. Damn right. How's Panama for a family to live? Peaceful. I mean, everyone speaks Spanish. You'll find that if you're friendly and you smile and you're really good at charades and you can pick up on like 10 phrases, you'll actually do okay. I don't speak Spanish, but I get along just fine. I got maybe 250, 300 words in my repertoire now and a couple of phrases. But if you're good at charades and hand motions and you're smiling and you laugh a lot, they'll laugh with you. So long as you're friendly, it'll be great for you. There's certain areas of town. On the east side of Panama City, there's a part of town called Casa del Este, which is very American. The sidewalks are very wide, and the mall down there is called Town Center. It's very modern. It's very clean. It's very nice. It's got a hospital built into it. And all of that is on the subway line. You can get anywhere you need to go in town on the subway. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here. And families that do come down, they end up really liking it. You know, from the standpoint of just like the cost of living, it's cheap. Have a look for yourselves. Come down, check it out for yourselves. And yes, Canada is completely doomed. It's done. It's over. The Canadian dream is done. There's no way to save it. The only way to save Canada is to have a full-blown, fully armed, excessively violent revolution. That's the only thing. And Canadians are just not up to that. The average Canadian has never been in a fight. They've never been to a third world country. They have never been to a slum. They just can't handle that kind of thing. So it's best to get out. It's a worthless place, unfortunately. And it sucks because it was so amazing in the 80s. I had a great childhood being in Canada in the 1980s. And, you know, the land mass is gorgeous. It's a beautiful country, but the politics suck and the people are weak and the LGBTQ runs everything. And it's not even the good ones. It's the freaks. They run everything. And I'm tired of it. I'm really sick of it in Canada. So there we are. Christine, what about capital gains? I covered it earlier in the show. You hire me as your tax guy, you'll never pay capital gains for the rest of your lives. Ever. What do my services cost? Ooh, what's the price of a house? Well, basic, if your income tax is basic, $350 Canadian. If it's intermediate, $500. If it's really complex, between $950 and $1,500 per year. Per person, corporate tax starts at $1,950 Canadian per tax year. If it's intermediate level and below, if it's really complex stuff, it goes on quotation basis because some corporate tax loads that come to us are crazy disorganized. So if we're going to be spending a couple of months on a tax file, and there are some tax files that have gone 2-3 months because the client just keeps getting us new information, you know, that's expensive, but it's worth it. If I can knock $500,000-$600,000 off your tax bill and actually get you the money back, it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay, so user 531 says, I'm 60. I'm looking at your photograph. You're way too beautiful to be 60. Not a chance. I think you're lying to me. But what's the best way to invest? What's the goal? See, that's a tough question to answer. What's the goal? What are you trying to achieve? Are you looking to get into a property and rent it out? Do you want that responsibility? Are you looking to get into the correct crypto coins and just wait it out? Are you looking to do a combination of property, gold, silver, gems, debentures, stocks, bonds, blockchain investments, whatever? I would need to know how many hours a week that you're looking to work on the investment. It's your investment after all, and what you feel the returns are that you're looking for. And can you handle the volatility of the blockchain and crypto? There's a lot of questions I would ask. So none of that's meant to be mockery. It's serious considerations that we have to make when we're looking to answer the questions about investments. What's the worst the CRA can do if you're unable to pay HST? Harass you, bother you, needle you. If you're the director of the corporation, they'll pester you for about 2 years. They'll certainly try. If you sell me your corporation, nothing. It's my debt because I do everything with a share sale. If I buy all your shares, it's my responsibility. You get to walk away from your HST and your payroll debts forever. Get a hold of me on that one. Shelly asks, what happened to Derek? About 24 months ago, he chose to be a very disrespectful individual, and he stated that he preferred being homeless, and we wished him the best of luck, and that's what he wanted in life. That's it. He made a choice, one that I was vehemently opposed to, but we all make choices in life. I wanted nothing to do with that life. I want to be rich. I want to be stinking rich beyond belief. So he chose his pathway and I've chosen mine. We're no longer compatible, which means we are no longer friends. I wish him the best. I really do. How do you opt out of paying taxes? Hire me and I'll make sure you don't pay tax. It's that simple. And that is I'm confident in my skills because I've been studying it for 40 years. 40 years. And that all started because I was 13 and the CRA robbed my parents of 1/3 of their wealth, robbed them. So I began studying back then when I had to ride my little BMX bike to my hometown's central library and read all the government pages that they keep stored in the basement. It's a weird, my God. Who remembers the old Mississauga, my hometown, the Mississauga Central Library? Remember how the library was kind of perched up on pillars and you'd park underneath it? But they had this weird section where you could go down to the basement. It was a horrible, scary, filthy place. It had rats. It had rats this big. So when I was in the basement and I was in the other areas in the building, there was always rats in there. Even the original Mississauga City Hall had rats. They ripped it down because it had mice and rats. I don't know what the hell it was with my hometown. There was rats everywhere. So anyway, there we go. Mary Alina says, if people have 2 houses, when they sell them, do they have to pay capital gains? Yes, if you're a dumbass and tell the CRA you have a second house. No, if you're intelligent and hire me and I do your taxes without the capital gain. What's the CRA going to do? Hey, Kevin, they have a capital gain. I can tell them, no, they don't. And too bad for you. Too bad. So sad. Throw yourself in front of a bus. Nobody cares. I make my own black diesel, $18 to fill my 2003 Volkswagen Golf. That's cool. Maybe you and I should talk because I've actually been in the market for a diesel powered anything. And I was really curious about that French fry grease, used French fry grease fuel that a couple of college kids put together in Toronto. And I'm also really curious on how to get a car to run on vegetable oil. Because vegetable oil, if you buy it in bulk here in Panama, is really cheap. You're probably driving for like 8 cents a liter. So let me know if there's anything I can do to get my hands on that. How about buying properties? Well, here, first off, if you're going to buy a property in Alberta, I know 3 really good agents there that'll help you out. If you're going to buy a property here in Panama, I focus strictly and solely all my time on Panama City. Couple of reasons. I love it. I love this city. It's walkable, it's rideable, it's rollerbladeable, it's swimmable if you wanted to. Yeah. There's nowhere I can't get on foot and on public transit. And when I'm riding Uber here, usually if I'm in a real hurry to get back to my office for shows like this, for example, I can take an Uber for $3. I'm always taking screenshots of Uber rides that are $2.90. It's just great. So I focus here on Panama City. If you're looking for places like Coronado, Bocas del Toro, San Blas, and otherwise, I don't deal with that yet, but eventually. Kib says you're 10 years behind your taxes. I say, so I'll do 10 years of taxes. That's all. And you won't pay a penny. That's a promise. I left. OMB is asking, I left Canada. Yeah. November of 2013. I'd had enough. I had enough. I hate the left wing. I despise left-wing politics. I can't stand the LGBTQ cult because they don't represent conservative, gay, anybody. And I know this. I've got a lot of gay friends who are conservative. You know what a conservative gay guy does? You know, when it comes to advertising himself, nothing. He doesn't advertise. He just lives life. That is what I want in my conservative private life, is everybody keeps their stuff private. But when you live in Canada, for some reason, everybody wants to tell you what they do in bed. No, thanks. Not interested. Everybody wants to tell you what their pronouns are. Are you out of your friggin' minds? There's no such thing. Everybody wants to tell you everything about their sad lives. Not interested. Oh my God. So TikTok just removed my live access. I don't get it back until March 11th. Isn't that weird? Oh, so next Tuesday. Look at that. Next Tuesday. I can't even go live. Oh my God. So this is weird. So some left-wing friggin' crybabies, some useless individuals, some left-wing freak retards decided to complain. Here's what it says. So live access status, your access to go live and multi-guest will be restored on March the 11th at 10:11 p.m. So that means next week I'm going to go live at 10:30 p.m. There you go. That's what it means. It says violation reasons, hate speech, and hateful behaviors. Check this out. TikTok is enriched by the various backgrounds of our community members. No, it's not. It's poisoned by it. It's ruined by it. Our differences should be respected. No, they shouldn't. Because our differences between the radical left and the conservative moneymakers is so different that I want nothing to do with it, period. So it says, rather than a cause for division, it's the left wing that divides. When the left wing gets me censored, that's division. We do not allow any hateful behavior, hate speech, or promotion of hateful ideologies. Didn't do any of that. Just told the truth. This includes content that attacks a person or a group because of protected attributes. Like what? What's protected? If you're a loser, you're not protected. You're just a loser. And then we've got reading community guidelines. So now what I need to do is see, I'm going to appeal this. Okay. So I'm going to click. I'm going to submit the appeal. And it's under review. And the weird part about TikTok is they don't always store your lives. So what are they going to do now? Absolutely insane. So we'll continue here on Rumble. And for everybody on TikTok, I'm really sorry. We had a lot of people watching too. Yeah, we were at 30,000 likes. It was great. Finishing off what we're saying here about left-wing politics and whatnot, I want nothing to do with it because it doesn't make money. There's no money to be made when you have an ideology out there like the one that just censored me, traveling around the country, getting in everybody's way. So I'm going to finish my thoughts and just state that I'm pleased to not be near any of it. I don't want to be near it. You know, I'm just going to say, I made it very clear in my presentation tonight that I don't like pedophiles. And I get censored for that. So what do you do? We're going to continue on and address something else here is, what do you do when the CRA becomes excessively obnoxious? Well, when they become excessively obnoxious, you start to write down all the days and times that the CRA representatives are calling you, and call the police. You call the cops. As soon as you tell the Canada Revenue Agency, or anyone for that matter, that you're represented, like by me, for example, they have to leave you alone. They cannot contact you. They must leave you alone. So we just call the cops. The cops won't do anything. They really won't do anything, but we can go to the courthouse and file criminal charges against the individual. Let's just make sure that they didn't shut my account down, for God's sakes, because they've done that to me before. This account I have on TikTok has actually been shut down twice, and I appeal, and I always get it back. Okay, now it's still operating. But just so everybody knows, next week's show is going to start at 10:15 p.m. so I can be live on TikTok at the same time. Oh, man. There's so many losers in the world. You know, I'm not angry. I'm sad. I'm saddened by this, because it's this type of crap that led us down the pathway as a society in the Western world that we're currently in, where the countries are broke because we have bad leaders. We have bad leaders spending our money on stupid stuff. We have the average individual out there who's being taxed to death, who isn't doing anything about it. And everyone's looking for that one answer. And I'm the only one doing the talking on the actual answers. And I wish that there was more that I could do for everybody out there, but I can only do so much in a 24-hour period. But I will continue, no matter who censors me and who gets offended by it, to tell the truth. I'm going to keep right on telling the truth about absolutely everything. And the truth is, the Canada Revenue Agency is a criminal enterprise, and it's got a series of employees within it who are complete and utter disgusting criminal losers. And I will do whatever it takes to hurt these people within the bounds of the law. Now, I can't go to their houses and beat them up. Why would I do that? But I can utilize the skill sets of private investigators to track them down and go to their homes with lawsuits and warnings, and maybe call them at home. Hey, listen, Johnny, KevinJJohnston here. You're bugging my client at home. I'm going to call you at home now forever until we can solve this problem. I would love to do that. In fact, I've done that. We need to do more of this kind of thing. And if it is indeed hate speech for me to tell all of you that I truly wish nothing but death, disease, pain, and pestilence upon every single member of the CRA and the current Canadian government, well, then consider it hate speech, because I really do hate the CRA and I hate the entire structure. I can't stand any of the taxation system in Canada. I hate the courts. I hate it all. And that's why I do what I do, because I don't hate the average person. I quite like the average person out there. And I quite like the idea of the average citizen out there being allowed to go out, make money, and keep as much of it as possible. So I'd like all of you to know that you can legally stop paying taxes forever. You don't have to, but you got to know what you're doing. And don't, under any circumstances, go to the free man on the land people. They are absolutely pathetic individuals who are lying to you about these really stupid ideas that you don't have to do anything and you get everything for free. And so it's not true. All right. When I say you don't have to comply with anything, you don't have to comply with people that are issuing orders to you without a court order if they're not going to pay you. If no one's paying me for my time, you can be rest assured I'm not doing anything they say. Why would I? And I'm recommending the same thing for you, but don't think for an instant there's some magical formula that allows you to squat in someone's house forever and keep the house. There's no magic formula that lets you drive someone else's car away and not be charged with theft. These free man people are dangerous because they've got really stupid ideas. And these really stupid ideas are dangerous because you're the one that's going to suffer, not the one teaching you this stuff. And I'm telling all of you, stay away from the free man on the land movement. Don't get involved with any of it. Stay away from the sovereign citizen movement, especially in Canada. It's not going to help you in any way. What it's going to help you is understanding your rights and understanding the policies and the procedures, which I do, and we do it legally. Everything that I do is frowned upon by the CRA. It's all frowned upon by the judges and the crown attorneys and whomever else, but none of it is illegal. There's a difference between illegal and improper, and everything that I do is improper. Why is it improper? Because everybody who's trying to pull the wool over your eyes and lie to you and steal from you thinks so. And I don't care what they think. I mean, I don't care what they think at all. And there's no reason why I should, and there's no reason why any of you should. So to answer any and all the questions out there, no, you don't have to pay income tax if you do it the right way. No, you don't have to pay corporate tax if you do it the right way. No, you don't have to cooperate with any facet or branch of the Canadian government, because you've got the choice. You have constitutional protections stating that you don't have to do any of the things that you're being ordered or instructed to do. So I'd like all of you out there to start to respect yourselves a bit more. Respect the fact that you're the ones out there making the money and they're taking it from you. And you have the right to restructure your life and stop paying all these ridiculous taxes. You know, every single time that we get clients away from the taxation system legally, they start making money. Within 4 months, every one of our clients that we have removed from the taxation system legally makes money. I don't do anything illegal whatsoever because I don't want warrants out there. You know, I don't want international warrants for my arrest because I broke the law. I don't break the law. I say things that are highly offensive, but only highly offensive to losers. And I do everything out there improperly because it works, but I don't do anything illegally. So all of you out there, go offend somebody, please. If you have a loser in your life, offend them. If you are coming across losers in your daily life, offend them. Push them away from you. You need fewer losers in your lives and more winners in your lives. Now, I'm just going to do a bit of reflection here. We're going to cut the show off here in about 7 minutes. Sorry. In life, whenever you do something that's awesome, those who are already awesome at it never tell you not to do it. If you're overweight and you go to the gym, the guys who are super cut and super fit, they don't walk up to you saying, "Hey, fatso, you don't belong here. Get lost, you're a loser." That's not what they do. They, in most cases, will encourage you. If you want advice on health, you go to the physically fit guys and gals out there who have great bodies because they work hard on them, and the ones who will tell you the same stuff that I would tell you. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs. Yeah. Exercise for at least an hour a day. Try to get 5 kilometers a day in if you can. You need your 10,000 steps. Get that going. Eat right. Sleep enough. Yeah. Don't be promiscuous unnecessarily. Like, these are all the things that'll keep you alive and happy and healthy. But right now, believe it or not, I'm actually 25 pounds overweight. If I'm wanting to shed 25 pounds, let's say in 30 days, I'm not going to go to a guy who's 700 pounds and ask him how to do it. I will go to the professional who is 5 or 6% body fat with veins popping out of every muscle, because that's the guy that knows how to do it. I would start a business up, and I've never once, whenever I've had businesses started up in the past, had a millionaire come to me saying, "Hey, you, don't start a business." Never, not once. The millionaire will encourage you to be better. But friends and relatives, "Why are you starting a business? Just get a job." Yeah, just get a job. That's a loser. Don't get financial advice from losers. Don't get financial advice from people who have never made money in the open market, who have never run a business. What the hell do they know? They're just losers. You see, they're trying to drag you down. You can't let them do it. So in your lives out there, start offending the losers. Get them away from you because you're going to make less money with losers in your life. Start finding winners to hang around. Even if you don't like them at first, try to get to know winners and see what the winners are doing to make their lives better and mimic the behavior of winners. There's positively nothing wrong with doing what the winners do. Yeah. When you want to be rich, figure out what the rich are doing and do that. Stay away from the naysayers. Stay away from the people who are negative. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're trying to improve yourself in. Stay away from the ones that say, don't do it. I'm telling all of you out there, get fitter, get stronger, get faster, get smarter, get richer. Now, I can guide you down the pathway of getting richer by absolutely crushing all your tax debts. And I can guide you into some of the investments that I've done that have worked. But I've never done crazy things like invested in a yacht and run a yacht business. So don't ask me for advice on how to open up a yacht business after dropping, let's say, $40 million on a big one. I have no clue. Don't ask me. Someone asked about Reiki earlier. Don't ask me anything about Reiki because I'm going to tell you, I know nothing about it. Don't come to me for Reiki lessons. I can't give them to you. And I would never tell you don't do it. I would just tell you, if you want to get into the business, learn it from a pro, because I'm not. If you want to learn, I don't know, how to take a 120 mile an hour slap shot, I'm not the guy to teach you. I was coaching hockey years ago, but it was a different game when I was coaching it. These kids now are so fast and so strong that I would never be able to keep up with any of it. So don't ask me how to take that kind of a slap shot. I don't know. Go see the pros. Go talk to a professional. Cut everybody out of your life who annoys you, who irritates you, who slows you down. If you're focused on the irritations in your life can honestly just go nowhere. It's not a good scene to have that many distractions in your life. So as I alluded to earlier in the show, I started cutting losers out of my life by just offending them. And the more losers that left my life, the better my life got. True friends, true business partners, the people that have true respect will accept the fact that you're trying to offend them and say, look, I like you. I legitimately like you. You're not going to offend me. Or they'll say, you know what? You're right. And they will take your suggestions, your speeches and whatnot, and incorporate that into their decision-making processes. And the two of you will have more of a strength in your relationships. So go out of your way, risk being offensive, take risks in life. You got to take risks in life. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. Unless, of course, it's a stupid risk. I wouldn't recommend jumping off a building expecting to survive it. Wouldn't happen. I also don't suggest putting cocaine up your nose, but I do suggest trying new things out there that you haven't tried before that are not unhealthy, but could lead you into a new life by meeting new people who have new skills and new outlooks that they can bring to you. I want to see all of you get rich. So stop paying income tax, stop paying corporate tax. If you've got HST and GST and payroll debts, I can completely wipe those out. And if you really want to know how to make money, then get a hold of me. I'll set you up with the appropriate types of corporations in Canada and teach you everything you need to know about how to not report taxes legally so that for the rest of your days, every penny that you make belongs to you. My name is KevinJJohnston, obviously Canada's biggest mouth and Canada's #1 tax expert. We're going to do this again, but next week, because of this TikTok fiasco tonight, we'll start at 10:15 p.m. next week, and we'll be live again on Kick, Rumble, Facebook, DLive, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. We'll go live in as many places as we possibly can. I am looking very forward to next week's show. We'll see you then. Have a great night. Take care.